President Park Geun-hye says South Korea should no longer put up with North Korean provocations while providing unilateral aid. We have more from her national address. We bring you more from the inter-Korean Kaesong Industrial Complex, where a KBS film crew brings us images for the first time since the shutdown. And U.S. forces Korea are deploying key strategic assets to the Korean Peninsula in recent days, ahead of Korea-U.S. joint drills scheduled next month. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Wednesday, February 17th. I'm Luke Clary. President Park Geun-hye says South Korea should no longer put up with North Korean provocations like this year's nuclear detonation and ballistic missile test. At a nationally televised address from the National Assembly on Tuesday, the president also said the South can no longer offer massive unilateral aid to the North, considering these provocations. We bring you the details.
President Park Geun-hye said that North Korea's nuclear ambition can no longer be curbed with existing methods and goodwill. She said if time passes by as is, it will only lead to an eventual catastrophe.
브레이크 없이 폭주하고 있는 김정은 정권은 핵 미사일을 실전 배치하게 될 것이고 우리는 두려움과 공포에 시달리게 될 것입니다.
The president also stressed that Seoul must no longer give in to Pyongyang's provocations and offer massive unilateral assistance. She said that over $500 million have been provided to the North through the inter-Korean Kaesong Industrial Complex, but that most of the money ended up with the ruling Workers' Party leadership. She said this kind of situation of aiding the North Korean regime's nuclear and missile development cannot continue.
국민들을 최단 기간 내에 안전하게 귀환시키기 위해 이번 결정 과정에서 사전에 알릴 수 없었고 긴급 조치가 불가피했습니다.
Park said the suspension of the complex is only the beginning of various sanction measures to come by the international community. She said that tougher and more effective sanctions will follow.
North Korea's Moranbong Band, which made headlines when it unexpectedly canceled a concert in Beijing 2 months ago, made its comeback with a performance congratulating the North Korean regime on this month's rocket launch. The band is expected to be at the forefront of the regime's propaganda from now on. The North Korean band Moranbong stages an exciting performance against footage of Pyongyang's long-range missile launch. The stage features a large model of the Gwanmyeong rocket, while an enormous screen shows in succession Kim Jong-un's final order of the launch and his attendance at the launch site. The concert was organized by Kim Jong-un to celebrate the missile launch. The Moranbong Band, making its first appearance in 2 months after its concert in Beijing was canceled, performed songs praising the regime for an hour. The repertoire included 3 new songs. Kim Jong-un and his wife Lee Seol-ju can be seen singing along with satisfied looks on their faces. Missile models were installed in various parts of Pyongyang, including a flower exhibition and other events to celebrate Kim Jong-il's birthday. On Tuesday night, a large-scale fireworks show was held in the north to bolster loyalty to Kim Jong-un and strengthen solidarity. China is home to the greatest number of North Korean restaurants, a hallmark of the North Korean regime's efforts to earn foreign currency overseas. South Korean tourists are the chief customers of these North Korean restaurants in China. Take a look.
This North Korean restaurant is located in the Koreatown district of Wangjing in China's capital, Beijing. North Korean ladies perform here every night. The first floor front seats are reserved for South Korean tourists.
한국 사람들 많네.
이 춤은 한국에는 중국 분들이 많이
The singer's songs are also geared toward South Korean tourists. The tourists applaud and even dance. When the performance is over, the tourists buy flower bouquets sold at the restaurant to give to the singers. They also take pictures together. The North Korean restaurants sell liquor and medicine to the emotionally charged tourists at a very steep price. Deer antler wine, for instance, costs over $160, while North Korean Viagra goes for about $25.
비아그라도 있네.
미국산 약이 아니고 거래 인기까지 수출해요.
Some 100 North Korean restaurants are operating in China, including in major cities of Beijing, Shanghai, Dandong, and Tianjin.
Next, we bring you more from the shuttered inter-Korean Kaesong Industrial Complex, where a KBS film crew is bringing us images for the first time since the shutdown. Without electricity, the industrial park is dark and deserted.
Dusk falls in the north. The Kaesong Industrial Complex, located to the north of Mount Tora, becomes shrouded in darkness. Soon after, the complex turns into a world of darkness, with only streetlights on the Unification Bridge and the Mount Tora Inter-Korea Transit Office in sight. This contrasts sharply with how vibrant and brightly lit the industrial park used to look during its normal operation. Power supply from the south was completely cut off directly after the industrial complex was shut down. The bridge connecting the south and the north is also deserted, with just a few streetlights still flickering. Only the lights at Imjinggak Amusement Park illuminate the darkness. Shut down 13 years after its launch due to Pyongyang's continued provocations, the Kaesong Industrial Complex is now blanketed in desolate darkness, as if symbolizing the standoff between the two Koreas.
U.S. forces Korea are deploying key strategic assets to the Korean peninsula in recent days ahead of Korea-U.S. joint drills scheduled next month. Combined exercises have actually begun in earnest as the two sides' Army, Navy, and Air Force hold their respective joint drills.
The F-22 Raptor stealth fighter jets, a core strategic asset of the United States, are being deployed to the Korean peninsula. The Raptor can identify and strike down enemy objects as small as 1 meter in diameter, some 250 kilometers away, without being detected by radar. The nuclear-powered aircraft carrier USS North Carolina arrived at Busan Port Tuesday after completing 3 days of joint submarine drills with Korean forces in the East Sea. U.S. Forces Korea also earlier announced that U.S. Special Operational Forces from the Airborne 1st Special Forces Group and the 75th Ranger Regiment were conducting drills with their Korean Army counterparts in Korea. Air Force Special Forces of the two allies are also holding a joint exercise, the first of its kind ever, through Thursday. Drills are well underway between the Army, Navy, and Air Force of Korea and the U.S. ahead of the bilateral Key Resolve exercise to kick off next month in its largest size yet.
New smartphone apps designed to help the visually impaired read books or appreciate the arts have made their debut. We bring you this report on how technology is bringing art and literature to a new audience.
A man standing in front of a bookshelf busily moves a smartphone. Yu Jae-hee, who has a first-degree visual disability, is choosing books that he wants to read. With the help of a smartphone app, the visually impaired can receive assistance from previously registered family or friends by showing them real-time video images.
자, 오렌지 주스 좀 찾고 싶은데요. 지금 집으신 거 우측에 있는 게 오렌지 주스고요.
People with visual disabilities can also buy groceries on their own by using wearable cameras linked to smartphone apps. There are also apps that verbally describe artworks and cultural assets.
노을이 지는 들녘에 낡은 옷차림의 부부가 마주 서 있습니다.
또 어떤 형태로 되어 있는지를 머릿속으로 그려볼 수도 있고 네, 이런 점이 가장 좋은 점이라고 느껴집니다.
과거의 트라우마적 경험이 현재의 내 삶을 일방적으로 결정하도록 놔둘 수 있느냐는 이야기다.
This smartphone app reads books aloud for the visually impaired. Users can choose from some 10,000 books registered in the app and have them read to them. Diverse smartphone apps designed to help visually impaired users are becoming indispensable in replacing eyesight.
Wintertime training for athletes once involved jumping into icy water to heighten their fighting spirits. But now off-season training programs have become more scientific, incorporating technology and even elements of psychology to boost athletic performance.
Baseball players climb the snowy mountain path in barefoot and go into the icy water. Everyone from Park Geun-hye, the hottest baseball star at the time, to rookies had to take part in this draconian training session. Soccer players and their coaches also had to endure the freezing water ordeal. This was how off-season training for athletes was carried out in the past. But now cutting-edge equipment has replaced the glacial water. A new physical trainer for the Ulsan Hyundai football team checks the players' heartbeats and distances run with multi-sport watches. Players can check their conditions on a real-time basis and get the maximum results from their training.
みんなで楽しむっていうことと、頭もより活動的にできるようにっていうこともあって、でこういうふうな頭も起こせるような形でウォーミングアップをやってます。
A new psychological session has been added to their training program as well. Sports science is bringing change to Korea's winter training camps, boosting expectations for the new season.
The legendary Lee Mi-ja, nicknamed the Queen of the Elegy, is going on a nationwide tour in celebration of her 57-year career. We have that and more news coming up in today's Showbiz segment.
Celebrating the 57th anniversary of her career, singer Lee Mi-ja is to perform her hits with a 57-member orchestra. The concert tour, intended for families, will begin this Friday at Sejong Center for the Performing Arts in Seoul and travel to Gimhae, Daegu, and Seongnam. Puccini's opera Turandot has been turned into a musical. The musical is an original production about a love story involving the icy princess Turandot, Prince Kala, and the slave girl Liu. The cast for the production includes talented musical actors like Lee Gun-young and Park So-yeon, as well as singers Ali and Chung Dong-ha.
Baby, my heart could still fall.
Thinking Out Loud by British singer Ed Sheeran was named Song of the Year at the 2016 Grammy Awards. American pop star Taylor Swift won for Album of the Year. Rapper Kendrick Lamar became the most awarded artist at this year's Grammys by practically sweeping the hip-hop categories with 5 wins, including Best Rap Album.
When it comes to food, meat is an all-time favorite. People around the world enjoy a wide variety of meat dishes, and today we introduce unique and savory meat dishes representing international culinary traditions. Let's take a look. This is an Italian restaurant in Itaewon, Seoul. An unfamiliar dish steals attention in the kitchen. It almost looks like a loaf of bread at first glance.
이탈리아식 통바베큐를 모르겠답니다.
It's porchetta, a fatty, boneless pork roast of Italian culinary tradition. Customarily, a whole gutted and deboned pig is stuffed with various herbs and spices. But here, the dish is made with a cut of pork in a simpler version. First, season the meat with salt, sugar, and pepper and leave it at a low temperature for some time. Then, add dried cranberries to the meat before rolling it up. Next, tie the meat with string to keep the juices locked in and roast it in an oven for 2 to 3 hours.
고기가 돌돌 말려 있어서 그런지 육즙이 굉장히 풍부했어요.
Next, let's move on to Russia. Russians love this meat dish just as much as Koreans love their roasted pork with traditional liquor soju.
이거 샤шл릭이요. 러시아에서 마시면 샤шл릭 많이 먹어요.
This is sashlik, a Russian kebab. Originating from Central Asia, the dish is simple to cook. First, prepare the meat. Lamb, beef, or chicken, anything works. Season the meat with salt, pepper, and yogurt, then leave it for 2 to 3 hours. Afterwards, skewer the meat and grill it over a charcoal fire. How does it taste?
크기도 그렇고 뭐랄까 꼬치라기보다는 스테이크 같은 느낌이에요.
Up next, from the United States, it's meatloaf. First, stir diced vegetables in a pan and add tomato ketchup, whole seed mustard, and soy sauce. Mix the vegetable sauce, minced pork or beef, eggs, and breadcrumbs. Put the mixture in a square-shaped pan and spread the vegetable sauce all over it. Then roast it in the oven for an hour. Try out these mouth-watering international meat dishes for a refreshing new spin on an old favorite. Now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.